What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome to Not Your Status Quo. Tonight, we are talking Agatha and Penguin premieres, and we are not going to sing the Agatha All Along theme, because we are Not Your Status Quo. But before we get into all of that, Dave, Doug, how's it going, gentlemen?
Well, Keith, right now, I'm going to have to say I'm fan-freaking-tastic. But for the last... Hey, I just noticed something. Check this out. Same color. Oh, nope, not really.
ADD.
ADD. Yes. What? Squirrel. Anyway. Yeah, man. Since our last broadcast, it seems I've had a migraine every day since we didn't even broadcast on Thursday because it was so bad. And there was other things going on. But yeah, and it's still here, not as bad. I hope I don't come off like a whiny little baby tonight.
Why would it be like any other night?
Saw that coming. Set that up for you to knock it down.
You left that right over the plate.
And yes, my team lost today, and their generational talent is proving to put up big numbers and statistically, but not even coming close to a win. It's really disappointing. And I know Doug just hopes he had fun. And, he probably did have fun. But what else can I cover? I would just jump right into the show. So I'm going to just send it over to Doug and see how you're doing, Doug. How are you?
Well, Dave, let me tell you, I am outstanding. I didn't watch any sports today. I know. Crazy, right? Why didn't I sit down and watch people kick the football? I assume that's involved. They kick it?
At times, yeah.
At least at some point. It's football, right? Yeah. Anyway, no, actually, I just did a lot of running around, a lot of errands today. Just been a busy weekend. Doing a whole bunch of things. I did sleep in though for once. Finally, it's like the calm after the storm. And this is gonna sound like sick and wrong to all of the adults out there. I slept until 11 a.m. I know. Weird.
That's not weird.
Never happens. I usually have way too much going on, but I didn't have anything really to do today, just a lot of errands. Woke up, did my stuff, cleaned, did some vacuuming of the stairs, did adulting things, and then decided I was gonna order Chili's for dinner. I haven't had that in a while. The stream sponsored by Chili's.
I want
Eating
my
good
back,
in the neighborhood. That's what their thing is. Right?
Something like
Did
that.
they get the chicken bacon ranch quesadilla?
How did you know?
Yeah, really?
That's literally what I got. Yeah, that is literally.
Oh yeah, it's delicious.
Okay, what's going on, man?
It's my migraine. It's connecting with other beings.
That's what it is. You're developing your mutant powers. Your X gene has finally activated.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, it's a little late. Normally it comes out when you're a teenager, so.
Well, I'm going to live another 250
Look,
years.
You just hit puberty. Give him a break.
Yeah. Yeah,
But no, had a pretty chill night waiting for us to get ready to stream. Rewatched an anime that I like that I've watched a dozen times or so. So I guess like your Smallville. But yeah, just been looking forward to this. Getting ready to talk Penguin.
Oh
and
yeah.
Yes, Agatha. But yeah. So Keith, sir, how are you doing, buddy?
I am tremendous. Unlike Dave, my sports ball team won with a backup quarterback. They're playing good football, good defense. So, all's well in Keithland. We had a busy weekend. My daughter went to homecoming at high school last night, so it was pictures and
It's happened already? Wow.
I know.
Just about to say that already? Wow.
Crazy. Got a lot of cute pictures. She had a good time. Now today, my wife and daughter went out on Sister Day because birthdays are coming up, so a lot of fun things. It was actually nice. I could watch sports ball in peace.
Did you get to threaten a date who came to pick her up or anything?
No dates.
Oh. One of these days, Keith, you're going to get that glorious position as a father, and you're going to be able to tell us all about it. Like, it was so great. I was so mean, and he was scared, and it was beautiful.
I'll just tell him, in the Marine Corps, I learned 1,000 ways to kill a man with a paper clip.
Yeah, it's
With a paper clip.
So if I ask you to pick a number between 1 and 1,000, be scared. I used to tell that to my brother, and one day we were both at my parents' house, and I was like laying on the floor. We were watching probably sports ball, and I'm talking crap to him, and all of a sudden a paper clip lands on my chest, and I'm like, "Oh, it's go time."
Nice.
And I think a good Marine one would be like, in the Marine Corps, we learned how to take apart a rifle in 3 seconds. Wonder how quick I can take apart a human body.
You know how
Try
easy
once.
it would be to hide your body after?
True story. You guys know that I grew up in a cemetery.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
My dad has used that literal threat.
Yeah.
Do you know how easy it would be to hide a body?
Or it's like, did you know that only 20% of murders ever get solved?
Now, did he say that to you and your sister's dates, or just your sister's dates?
Yeah. I had dates too.
Well, on that somber note, should we
Somber?
talk Agatha, or should we talk Penguin
Let's
first?
do Agatha first.
Yeah, let's do
I mean,
Agatha first. I agree.
Let's talk Agatha first. Okay?
We don't want to sing Agatha first?
Because no one's going second, all right? For one thing.
Well, on that wonderful note, we had 2 episodes of Agatha. The premiere, we saw Seeketh Thou the Road and Circle Sown with Fate, Unlock Thy Hidden Gate. And I think overall, I enjoyed these episodes. I thought they were interesting. Thought the acting was good. Wasn't, fantastic. It wasn't like 9.9, I'm off the chart. This is an Andor. But for something we thought was going to be a musical and none of us were looking forward to, I was pleasantly surprised. I think a lot of things happened in this which I care about, which is something we don't always get in these shows. So, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. And I think it started out, with hers kind of still under Wanda's spell in a True Detective type show. And the theme song for the fake show within a show, Agnes from Westview, sounded so True Detective. And that first season of that show was so good. I was like, all right, I'm digging it. They followed what actually happened in WandaVision, unlike maybe a movie starring Doctor Strange and maybe a bunch of multiverse craziness. And I appreciated that. It was a true sequel to WandaVision.
I did like how they started off with the True Detective type thing. And I thought, oh man, are they going to do this like WandaVision did? Are they going to do this on every show? And,
I was wondering that too.
Yeah, I was really hoping, all right, we've already seen that. I hope they don't repeat it. And that when she broke her out of it by the end of the show, I was like, oh, okay. Whew. Spoilers. Sorry if you haven't seen it. But I was like, yeah, at least they're not doing that. The musical part, they did have a song, and it was just like after the second verse, I was like, all right, enough. Why are you still going? It was just going on way too long for my taste.
See, that didn't bother me at all. I was enjoying. I was dancing along.
You talking about in the second episode, Dave?
Yeah.
Yes.
He jumped to the end.
Keith's in there. He's writing verse 4 and verse 5.
down the witch. Oh wait, there goes everybody. We lost everybody.
Oh, we lost all our viewers.
But at least the singing number. It was some very good voices singing together. And then I did like when they were done singing how they were kind of snarky towards each other. You were a bit pitchy there. Oh, I don't think you know where you were supposed to step in or whatever. And then poor, Mrs. Hart from WandaVision
Doesn't know the words.
Am I supposed to know the words to this?
Right.
She's the best part. Man, Debbie Jo Rupp. Yeah.
So does that imply that Miss Hart does have a little bit of magic? The fact that she was able to take part in it at all?
It appears so.
Oh, interesting.
I guess if you look at it, like everyone in the coven must have magic, and the way they were saying, there needs to be an earth witch, like a fire witch or whatever, and all that stuff together, it would imply that she does have some innate magical ability. Now,
And I'm assuming Agatha must have known that.
yeah, we'll say that.
Yeah. She knows how to spot the magic and I don't want to use the word suck, but get it out of other people into herself. You
Right.
know,
And
maybe she has a magic gardening power.
Yeah, magic gardening power. Yeah, we actually saw that in WandaVision when we did that little quick backstory thing about Agatha. We saw that they were going to execute her by blasting her with witch powers, and I think that's when she discovered, oh, well, this doesn't hurt.
Actually feels pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, and then she's just like, yeah, do it more, and then you could see her draining them all. I didn't understand exactly back when we were first watching that. I will fully admit I didn't understand what was happening. I'm like, okay, so why are they blasting all their magic at her? Like, is she forcing them to? Is she brainwashing them? And it wasn't really until this show that I fully grasped that they didn't know she could do that, and even Agatha didn't know she could do that yet. Like, I guess, is a special ability that she has that allows her to just absorb other people's power when they blast their magic at her, and she even says as much finally.
And I wonder if they watched it and said, you know what, that wasn't very clear in WandaVision.
Possibly.
Let's explain it a little bit, because I was the same way when it happened in WandaVision. I was kind of like, wait, what's going on?
Okay, so I wasn't alone. Okay,
No, and I think
I didn't totally get that.
I think it was more than just me and you.
Dave's over here like, yeah, I knew what was going on. You guys are dumb.
Oh yeah, I got it right away.
But going back to that first episode, I just wanted to say that I also really liked the opener. I am glad that they didn't keep going with, I'm half and half on that. I am glad that they didn't keep going with more of the whole like TV show trope, like showing different kinds, but at the same time, I don't think I would have minded it. It would have been interesting to see them do more like dramatic TV shows now, like Agatha making her way through, a true detective sort of thing, and then maybe now she's got to be in like a CSI show. What?
You said I wouldn't mind her making, and I said her way through the world today. And then Dave takes everything you got.
Walking fast.
Takes everything you got.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to go where.
Oh, again, now we got negative viewers.
Oh no. Great.
Well, what if like, she was in like some J.J. Abrams style show, or she ended up like, walking into some other, like all these different drama things. But one thing I did notice, so when I turned on Max to watch Penguin after, when it aired, I noticed
that about later.
I noticed that the mayor of Easttown, which that opening is based on, that's apparently like a direct one-to-one of that show. It is now in the recommended as like, a lot of people are watching this, and it's like, okay, I see what you're doing, Max. You know that people are going to be watching Agatha this week, because it's premiering the same time. You know that they're probably going to look up what is this, like a parody of or whatever, and you're going to be like, hey, everybody, if you're done watching Penguin, why don't you stick around?
By the way,
I did like
is that
too.
the Jeremy Renner show, by the way?
No, this is the lady from Titanic. Kate Winslet's in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not the Jeremy Renner one is. I forget what it's called now, but yeah, there's two Mayor, and this is the one with Kate Winslet that's in. Yeah. But it was I enjoyed the fact that when Rio Vidal showed up, Aubrey Plaza's character, how she was like, "Is this how you see yourself?" She's like, "What?"
Yeah, she was completely fourth wall breaking or meta. She was completely meta to the entire time she was there.
Right.
You know,
Didn't
she
she like
dropped
make a little comment?
one-liners.
She's like, "Oh, we're doing the detective thing." Okay, anyway.
Yeah, yeah, she'd play along, but she would drop like, "Really? Is this how you see yourself?" Like you said,
Hmm.
like, haven't you figured it out yet? I think she said that actually too, and that's when she started to figure it out.
That's when the teen removed the spell or whatever. But I did like, because one of the things I do like about Agatha is just how snarky she is. So it was nice in that second episode when we saw sort of Agatha, how she treated the teen, how she treated the other witches. You know, it was very just.
Very Kathryn Hahn.
Yes, not mean, but just kind of snarky. And I was like, okay, good. I'm glad they're going here. But I do wonder if now that they're on the Witch's Road, spoiler alert, they open the door at the end, to get away from the Salem 7. But I wonder if each episode, each test that they have in the road is going to be almost like an episode of something. Because this show did very much seem like a television show and not like some of the other Marvel stuff that's been on Disney Plus, where it's like, hey, we filmed a 6-hour movie and now we need to cut it in half at certain points and it's going to be weird. It does seem like we get that end of the episode sort of closure and then a new episode opens. So I wonder if Marvel Studios is learning their lesson about how to really do a television show instead of kind of just chopping up a movie.
Yeah, and it at the beginning it did say Marvel Television instead of Marvel Studios.
Yeah. The new
That's the
branding,
first
which
time I
I
saw that.
appreciated. I like the fact they're doing that now, where like we saw with X-Men '97, they did Marvel Animation. Now we've got Marvel Television. I am glad they're doing that. I didn't get that takeaway though as much. I mean, I did feel that it presented better than some of their other TV shows. It didn't feel like a chopped up movie. But at
Yeah.
the same time, it also felt a little bit more cinematic than some of their other shows. Like when I'm watching this, and I'm like, oh, to me, it felt like they actually put some real effort into this. Like it was shot really well. All things considered, it wasn't like my favorite show, my favorite 2 episodes to watch, but it was shot very beautifully. Like it was well done.
Now,
As far as like,
I was just going to say, aggressively relaxing says, I like that they homage the panning camera in the basement of that 70s show when the characters, get stoned with the Green Witch. And then this one I totally forgot about. Miss Hart broke out of the spell when Wanda was choking her husband in WandaVision too. I forgot about that.
that's right.
Excellent
Yes.
call, aggressively relaxing. So yeah, maybe that was a little bit of her latent magic coming through.
Yeah.
Because
I didn't even think of that.
her green thumb might not be just because she's good with gardening. There's a little magic involved too that she's just sort of passively using.
Speaking of WandaVision, do you like how when she brought up Wanda, the people were like, oh, no, we don't say that name here.
How
Which,
long?
Yeah.
again, I'm going to repeat what Not Your Status Quo said at the end of WandaVision. She was the villain. I don't care what sort of, nonsense photon or spectrum or whatever the hell she's calling herself wanted to say at the end there. But, like, no, I don't care what Wanda had to go through. I don't care what she had to give up. She was a villain.
Didn't we
She
agree
left
that-
them all in a prison?
Didn't we agree that Photon only
Yeah.
said that because she didn't want to be ripped apart by the Scarlet Witch?
I don't remember that would that would drag. I mean, I could agree
Yeah,
to
that would.
that because like those people, like I still feel, and I still say that like I think Agatha got it a bit too rough.
Now, did you guys notice something? Speaking of what the people in that town went through, the population sign on Westview was down about
It went down. I
1,300
noticed that.
people. So yeah, people probably
Did people?
got out of town.
Oh, I was gonna say, did people die while they were in Wanda's hex?
Maybe some,
Because
but
we
not
noticed
that
the
many.
further out to the outskirts of town, she had less control.
Yeah, I just think everyone left town like they're worried that something else is going to happen, or
She might come back.
Yeah.
She does still technically own that property, I assume.
Yeah. Did you see where on her house where it said
spray
"Evil
paint on it?
Witch"?
Yeah. Yeah. So which of the theories do you guys agree with so far as the body goes in that first episode? Half the internet is saying that is supposed to represent the Darkhold, and the other half are saying that is actually Wanda.
See, I think it more represents the Darkhold because she had the power. She had it in WandaVision. She lost it, and then Wanda destroyed it. And it's almost like the
destroyed it.
Yes, destroyed it. Thank you. Almost like it's reaching out to her a little bit. Almost like, hey, you had control of me at one point. Because, we all know the Darkhold cannot be utterly destroyed. I don't care what they say in the multiverse of madness. Reaching out to every plane of existence. They'll always be there. It's too powerful to be destroyed. And I think it was kind of reaching out to Agatha to kind of wake her up. And maybe even using the teen a little bit to kind of break her out of that spell. Even though he thinks he just wants to go down the road and get that power. I think the Darkhold may be playing a bigger part of this than we think.
Well, the reason why I ask is like that little conversation that they had in the beginning, her and Herb, or whatever detective role he was playing. I think he was like a forensics guy or something. But she asks him, is she dead? Oh, she's really dead. And then she's like, well, you never know. and then they said, what's the cause of death? So, I think he said something
Heavy
dropped
fell
on
on
her.
her.
Yes, there you go. Something heavy fell on her. I'm like, okay, so are they talking about Wanda or what?
A hex by a deceased witch or something. Is that what I can't remember how they phrased it. But you can break out of a hex that's delivered by now a deceased witch. I forget the exact. I'd have to go back and say it, but they did have that. He did say something like that in the conversation, and I thought that's what started the process of her breaking out of it.
Well, I think it kind of weakened the walls because she did find that brooch right near the body. So I was like, okay, that's a little too convenient. That's there. Someone or something is trying to help her kind of get out of the spell. Whether it was the teen, the Darkhold, or something else, we don't know at this point. But
Mephisto.
I was waiting for one of you.
Did you see the letter that was on his mouth when he went to say his name?
Definitely an M. It's Mephisto.
I was
That's
like,
who the T.
Oh my God! If we do not see Mephisto in this series, I am just picketing outside Jac Schaeffer's house.
And in the last episode, the teen is going to transform into Sacha Baron Cohen.
Well, you know what? He's got that teen look of Sacha Baron Cohen, and he's got the same hair and the bushy eyebrows.
Hey, he kind of does. You're right. But see, I don't get him as being Mephisto. He's a lot of people.
You're right. Agatha is actually Mephisto.
Yes. Rio Vidal is Mephisto.
Right.
I'm kidding. She's Death. But I see him. A lot of people are saying he's either going to be Nicholas Scratch, or Billy Maximoff, or Billy. I forget his name in this universe. And I'm like, God, I don't know. If anything, he'll probably be Billy. Because, they hinted at the Nicholas Scratch thing in the first episode. For those of you that don't know, that's Agatha's son. And, I do think that the way the MCU is rolling is they're building towards Young Avengers more than anything else. So bringing, Billy, it's not Kudrup. I can't, it's not Maximoff. I can't remember his name.
It's not?
No. Because it wasn't really her son. Even though she kind of claims it as her son, he was in the Children's Crusade comic book, and now I can't remember, but it doesn't matter. But I think it might be Billy, only because that makes the most sense for where they're going, or seemingly going after the post-credit scene the pre-credit scene in the Marvels, where Miss Marvel was recruiting Kate Bishop.
I'm putting a team together.
Do you mean because didn't they cancel the movie, or what was that cancellation about the Young Avengers that we were talking about a few weeks ago?
They haven't canceled anything Young Avengers wise. They said, what did get canceled? What? It got soft canceled. The Eternals 2 got soft canceled, and I can't remember.
I don't know. I remember we were talking about this a few weeks ago, and we were saying something about the Young Avengers getting canceled.
Not
I
Young
don't remember
Avengers.
exactly.
It's
You have to go back and watch one of our previous episodes, which you're free to do.
which we don't know which one, but if you find it, let us know.
You know what? You
I'll
better
find
watch
it, yeah.
every stream from the past 2 months just to be sure.
Yeah.
Very good call.
Can't leave no stone unturned.
But I don't remember saying it was canceled. I know they've went back and forth on being a movie or being a series on Disney Plus. But I know
I-
I
Armor.
don't mind it being a series. I think that.
I think a series would be better because you got so
too.
many characters to dive deep on.
Yeah, you need that time to really do it. But we know you can do a team up movie with characters you don't really know that well, and do a good job. Guardians of the Galaxy is one, but I guess we'll find out more. The fact that whoever it is that is covering up who the teen really is, and also his backstory, which I'm not a professional lip reader. I'm terrible at it. But I thought he said something about being in a car accident.
Oh, all right.
And remember, she was talking to Aubrey Plaza's character, who's going by Rio at this point, saying that there was a car accident, and she knows that's somehow related to this case, if not directly involved. So somehow the teen was in an accident outside of Westview and Eastview, and that got into her, True Detective, Mayor of Easttown, or whatever dream, and it's going to play a part. But, the whole
And she let him drive?
he was already driving when he was talking about it. And she couldn't hear because, remember, he started talking, and she's like rolling down the window to see, turning on the radio.
She's like 800 years old. She might not know how to drive.
That's true.
But yeah, she couldn't hear him. It just went. Oh, what was that about? Because we aren't supposed to know that yet.
She's not supposed to know that. Someone is keeping that information from her.
Because I don't think he knows about this.
No, he doesn't. He has no idea that his mouth was covered up when he said his name.
Yeah.
Or
I'm surprised she didn't say anything to him.
Well, I think she knows that this person is there. And if he gets power, it's going to be against, it's going to somehow be detrimental to Agatha. She knows enough, okay, this is a little bit too odd. He seemingly wants to help, but there's another force at play that if he does get power at the end of the
what she should
road,
try to test it? Have him say his name to one of the other witches while they're on the road, and then have that other witch say it back to her, and see if the same spell covers up her mouth.
Beetlejuice.
Don't say that 2 more times, dude. Don't do it.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice! I said it 4 times, so it cancels it out.
Oh, good. Yeah, but something, I think Agatha is smart enough to know when something like that is going on, she's going to try to use him, but she doesn't trust him. Even though he may think, I want to help Agatha, other forces are at play, which him getting power would be bad for her. I think. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, it does seem like anyone but her getting power seems to be bad for her. I don't know if it's like a jealousy kind of thing, or she just wants to be able to lord her power over everybody else, and maybe it's like, hey, I want to feel like I'm better than everyone. I don't know what it is, but yeah, she really was insistent on either walking the witch's road on her own, or just having all of those other witches blast their power at her so she could absorb it all. And she even admitted it. She's like, okay, yes, I just want you all to blast your power from me so I can steal your power.
Well, and that was when they didn't think the witch's road was opening. That was her play to get some power back, because she knew she needed it.
Yeah.
Because, Rio made it very clear the Salem 7 was coming and wanted her dead. And man, we talked about how many people had left, how the population was so much lower. After seeing the Salem 7, I think there's going to be more people moving out of that town.
Right.
That poor guy was like,
the population's gonna be like a 902.
you see that, right? Yeah. Oh, I'm out of here.
Yep, them's witches. Oh no, what if Westview becomes like the MCU's new Salem? And like that's what they're known for. It's like now the Avengers got to come in and be like, "Yeah, we heard you're like having mock trials and burning people at the stake. These witches." Yeah, but no, not all of them, guy.
What, they have cats? What are you talking about?
Look, our honorable judge JD Vance. No.
Oh, geez. Well, my question is, do you think, I mean, her character is just delightful. She's just fun to watch, you know. She
Kathryn
is
Hahn?
she going to, yes.
Yeah.
Is she going to be like she is in the comics? Is she going to be more like an
No.
like a Loki type anti-hero, or is she just going to be straight out villain?
I don't I think she's going to be more like a Loki type, but I don't think she's going to be much like she is in the comics. In the comics, she's not in the comics that much, and when she does appear, she's almost like a babysitter or a caretaker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was Franklin Richards' nanny for a while, and
Hmm.
then she was also the nanny for Wanda's kids in the comics in West Coast Avengers. She came by, but yeah, well, even Kathryn Hahn admitted, I was kind of laughing. She was on Jimmy Kimmel or something, and she said
Hmm.
this character has never had her own comic series, so she was like, when Marvel called. She was filming Knives Out, that Knives Out movie she was in. She said Marvel called. She thought it was a joke. Because, when she took the role, she's like, oh, yeah, I'll do that. That sounds great. And then all of a sudden, a character that has never had its own comic series is all of a sudden getting its own television show. And I think that says a lot about how she played it. But I do agree with Doug. If we're going to see her anything other than sort of her evil side, it'll be a multiversal thing. Like if she shows up in Fantastic Four in another universe as Franklin's nanny, it'll be a different character because I do think this character is just too far down that road to come back.
This is a good moment to compare it to something that was done similar but worse. Keith, Dave, can either of you think of any kind of movie that maybe we saw recently-ish that was also about a character that didn't have her own comic book, but
Madam Web.
the
Madam
production
Web.
company felt that they could make an entire ass movie out of this character that really didn't do much of anything?
Madam Web.
I can't think of anything. I mean, everything we've seen.
Dave's over here.
Choking on Madam Web over here.
I mean, Madam Web was a brilliant comedy. I've not laughed that
Oh,
hard
yeah.
in the theater in a very long time.
Here, if you want laugh every minute, go see Madam Web. You'll be spitting pop out of your nose.
You'll be wondering, hey, can I steal a cab and drive it to Peru? Why not?
You can.
And then drive it back.
It's a long drive, folks.
Can I drive an ambulance through a billboard and then crash it into a Spider-Man? Sure can.
Yep, that's what's coming your way, folks.
You may not have seen it, but it was written by Tim Robinson of I Think You Should Leave fame. So that's why Madam Web was so incredibly hilarious. It was.
Oh, that does make sense. Okay, we had a good comedy writer. Good. Well, you know what they say. With great responsibility, you will receive power or something. I don't really know.
If you see power, you'll eat a lot of great responsibility.
But back to the slightly better Agatha All Along. So did you guys get a good chuckle out of the fact that the entire town of Westview is just kind of playing along with her?
Yeah. They're like, oh,
It's like when they
yeah,
reveal,
she's been in the
oh
house
yeah,
for a
no.
few days.
So did
Well,
they
at
not
least
realize
they-
she was trapped in a spell or what?
At least the neighbor was honest with her when she came out and asked how long she'd been in the house and all that. You know?
All the time, like, could you please put clothes on?
Yeah.
That's a good
Oh, I'm
question.
sorry.
Did they know? Because they would have seen her battling Wanda in the finale of WandaVision, right?
Yeah, and she's the only one still under the hex, right?
Yes.
So
So, so wait, they know she's a witch then, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I would think
they
so.
have
Yeah.
to.
Do they think she's a good witch?
Maybe they do. Think about it. She was
She's
battling
like their
Wanda.
hero witch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. She was battling Wanda.
Wow. All
She
right.
They
she
hate
all right.
freed
Wanda.
us from the evil hex. Thank you,
Galinda.
Agatha. I didn't think that's a. I think that's
That's a good
probably
theory.
what they thought.
What a twist. Yeah, how crazy if like the Department of Damage Control or someone comes to like arrest Agatha and they're like, "Whoa, she's like our hometown hero. You can't take her."
If it
Does
wasn't for
anybody
her,
Aw.
really believe?
Guys,
Does
you really
anybody,
like me?
if it wasn't for
anybody
her,
really believe that Wanda's gone?
no.
Does anybody? No, can't.
I
But
do. I think the 616 Wanda is dead and gone. I think we're gonna see another version of Wanda, but I think that Wanda is gone because, like I've said before, I don't see how they could possibly bring her back and ever redeem her. She did too much. She was too much of a villain, and generally speaking, most of the MCU villains don't live.
I just will say, I think
Thanos
she's
made
still
it through two
alive.
movies.
Only because she has
Yeah,
so much power. And she
yeah.
wants people to think she's dead. And you're right, Doug.
Hmm.
If they try to redeem her, like she could do some heroic act and sacrifice herself, but she'll never be cheered as a hero because
Yeah.
No.
everyone knows what she did to Westview, and heroes don't take over an entire town to create
And not
her
just
family.
Westview. She
Yeah,
tr
what
she
she did,
tried to
the
kidnap a girl across the multiverse and steal her power.
kill all
She,
those people with
attacked.
Kamertage.
Yeah, she attacked Kamar-Taj.
Yep.
I mean, she's on their shit list.
Yeah, she can't be redeemed, but she can
So
still
I
be
think
alive.
if they bring back a Wanda, if they bring back a Scarlet Witch, it's got to be from a different universe.
So yeah, I think
Oh,
they'll
that
bring
would
back
be.
this one. And she won't be redeemed, but she'll help in some way to fight off
Okay.
Doom or somewhere around the line. But she'll still be revered as a villain.
Maybe before closing off the multiversal saga, they will recast a bunch of their, like Captain America, and maybe they can move forward with adventures like that without having to do a soft reboot after
I was
like Phase
I was about to
9.
say, do you think they're gonna like reset everything?
I do.
Yeah, I mean, because they got a lot more stories to tell with these characters, and they can't now that they're gone. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It'll almost be like at the end of Crisis on Infinite Earths, the comic, not that horrible show on CW. Don't.
Right.
Where like all the other kind of universes went away, and then there was like a mixing of a bunch of universes into one. And I think that's kind of where we're going to get the MCU post Secret Wars or post multiversal saga. It's going to be a patchwork of a bunch of different universes, and we'll have there'll probably be some same actors playing the same characters, but it'll open them up to recast and do what they need to do to get stories told with hopefully like Captain America and Wolverine together and all that, all the stuff we need to see now that the mutants and the Fantastic Four are there. Now, the other question we talked about the teen. Who do you think Aubrey Plaza's character really is?
Well, if we go based on what the internet is suggesting, she is also a witch who just happened to be Agatha's like ex-girlfriend.
See, two things happened in this episode that make me think she could be someone else. Well, she already said when her character is revealed, people are going to be blown away. Please do not be a Paul Bettany. I
Like
can't
a
wait to work
Vision
with this
thing.
actor.
Right.
But remember, her name was not spelled out on that list for the Coven. It was a Black Heart.
Mm-hmm.
And guess who has a son that goes by the name of Blackheart? Mephisto. Now, this would be a gender bent Blackheart if that is the case. But I thought that was
I'm
very
fine with that.
odd.
If it's done right, I'm always fine
No,
with
no,
that.
yeah. The fact that it was a black heart on that thing. Now that did that, and I was like, okay, they had the M when he covered his mouth. Now they're having a black heart. They are hinting at Mephisto again so much in this series. You know, remember when the WandaVision was going, oh, the devil's in the details, and they had the big red gun.
Yeah.
And that's what caused everyone to go wild, and then no payoff. If they're doing it
They're
again,
doing that on purpose.
if that is their joke through all of these shows, they keep
It's gotta be.
referencing Mephisto and never, ever pans
And never
out.
do it.
I will be like,
No. I kind of hope that is what they're
Done.
doing.
and it's funny because, you know, after the premiere, all of the scoopers online are like, Mephisto will be mentioned in episode 4. I heard it from my source. I'm like, oh my God, stop, you guys.
Yeah, I mean, even if they mention it, who cares? It's a mention. We want to see him.
Well, now,
Right. Okay, so what?
here's the other thing I thought, who she might be playing. Lady Death. Because
Oh, you think they're going to finally introduce her?
I think they might.
Thanos' girl?
Because yes, Thanos' girl. Because in that first episode or second episode, wherever they're fighting, she tells Agatha, "You can't kill me," and she's like, "I know, but you can't kill me either." And I was like, "Wait, why can't they kill each other?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, what if?" Because Lady Death doesn't actually do the killing; she just reaps the souls, you know, whatever. And that's why Thanos wanted to in the comics. That's why Thanos wanted to, you know, use the Infinity Gauntlet to murder half the universe. So, and I was like, okay, that's hinting. They've had 2 different hints at different characters. You know, Blackheart, Mephisto's son, or Lady Death. They've kind of hinted at both, and I'm like, okay, are they just a bunch of red herrings again? You know, they're trying to lead us down this path, and it's going to be something
Possibly.
different.
It's hard to trust them.
It is. You're right, Dave. You really got to, like, especially after WandaVision, when we were like theorizing out the butt, like to the point where, for those of you that like are kind of new to joining Not Your Status Quo, if you were unaware, we created an entire series under our brand called What's Next, literally just because we were theorizing so much about shows like WandaVision. We were trying to figure out what's going to happen next. More so than just trying to review and break down the episode. We're like, okay, this is great, but what is going to happen next because of this? And boy, were we theorizing, and everything was true.
It always is with us, right?
Yeah.
But
Well, and that's
two things about the whole Lady Death thing. First off, for anyone who knows that we are big old comic book nerds, Thanos and Lady Death, that was totally one-sided. Thanos is into her. Lady Death actually didn't like him. She did like Deadpool, though.
Yep.
Like,
That
she
will not come to
legit
fruition.
had it, you know, she was into Deadpool. She loved him.
maybe we'll see Aubrey Plaza and Ryan Reynolds in a team-up movie.
That'd be great. I hope that happens.
Well, you
I'd
know,
watch that.
Deadpool wanted to be in the comics. Deadpool wanted to be with her too,
Mhm.
and they couldn't be together. That was the whole draw because he couldn't die. That was the whole draw. That's why she loved him.
Oh. Interesting. That part I didn't know.
It is, but
Very cool.
I think the best thing this show is doing so far is kind of hinting at little things. You know, the overall story is good. You know, will they get their power back? What's going to happen on the road? Okay. But, you know, the fact they're kind of covering up who the teen's real identity is, who Aubrey Plaza is playing. And I think, you know, at least that's something to carry me in. Like, I'm looking forward to the next episode. Once again, this is not, you know, Andor. This is not, you know, the best thing that's ever happened.
That's Shakespeare in the Park.
But yeah, at least it's interesting. At least it has,
Yeah, at least it's not the Acolyte.
it's,
Oh, God.
I care
It's so
about,
much better.
yeah, that's setting the bar really low.
I
But-
care about these singing witches.
Yeah, I do. I care, you know, what's going to happen. And I want to know, you know, I hope the mysteries are, you know, and the 20th anniversary of Lost. I hope the mysteries play out a little better than it did on that show. And it seems like they have a path forward, I hope. You know, we know there's going to be a Vision series coming out, but not done by Jac Schaeffer, who did WandaVision and is doing Agatha All Along. So I don't know if that's going to continue down this path or if it's going to be a little separate, but at least Jac Schaeffer does a pretty good job when she's writing to instill mysteries that aren't telegraphed 100 miles away. Makes you care about the characters a little bit. So, this show has that going. It's better than I thought this was going to be when it was announced.
Sure. Okay, yeah. I'll admit that much too. It is definitely better than I thought it was going to be. All the time leading up to this show, I didn't care. And like, especially when they kept announcing all the different name changes, I was just like, all right, whatever. It's going to be, I guess they're going to play off the idea. They're going to sing a new song every episode. I don't know if they're actually going to do that now. If that's still going to be the case. If it is, all right, fine, whatever.
At least the song was entertaining. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Dave.
Hey, I kind of agree with Dave. I think I did feel like it went on a little bit too long. But yeah, it wasn't the most annoying thing. And the show's all right. It wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. I agree with you.
I'm just glad it wasn't a musical. I mean, if it was like a song every 5 minutes, I would be going nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and as you can see, they have some very good voices on the road with Agatha. I noticed Aubrey Plaza wasn't there to sing. I don't know if she can sing or not.
She missed that whole episode. I was like, all right, what are they doing with her right now? They're just putting her in the back of your mind and then she's just going to jump out.
Well,
she'll probably show up somewhere on the Witch's Road.
She will. They showed a preview. I don't know if it's next episode, but they did a thing like, coming up on Agatha. And there's a point where she looks directly at the camera and winks.
Oh, fourth wall breaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
okay, so she is Lady Death. All right. Okay.
Now, whether that makes it into an episode, who knows? For all we know, it's one of those trailer tricks where they're like, let's throw it in there and have the internet go berserk. Now, the internet didn't go berserk, but a lot of people were pointing out that this looks like she's winking at the audience. And of course, you don't see the context of it. You just kind of see that happening. So it'll be interesting to see, one, if it does show up in an episode, and two, if she is actually breaking the fourth wall, because we've seen Deadpool do it, we've seen She-Hulk do it, and so I can't think of any other characters that break the fourth wall in Marvel Comics.
Oh yeah, good point. I don't know.
So maybe Howard.
So you're saying she's She-Hulk?
Who did he say?
He said she's She-Hulk.
So you're saying she's She-Hulk?
Oh.
She's breaking the fourth wall.
And once again, it hasn't happened yet, but when it does, maybe we'll get some more clues onto who her character is. Because I'm more interested in that than the teen. I mean, I do care about the teen. I was a little worried about Joe Locke, the actor who does that. And like some of the trailers, some of the stuff he says, I was like, he seems like he's being, he's not acting up to, Kathryn Hahn and maybe others in the show, but he was good. He actually did a really good job in these episodes that we've seen so far. I was like, okay. So it was just me being weird about the trailers or something.
I think he's definitely being set up to be some sort of sacrifice, whether it's by his own choice or not, because he definitely gives off that aura of, the plucky little sidekick who's just, oh, gee willikers, I can't wait to go on this magical adventure with y'all, you fellas. We're going to be best of friends.
But remember, it seemed like she tried to keep him off the road, too. Because she had him upstairs when they were singing and doing... Once again, maybe he doesn't have a good singing voice either. We don't know. But she was keeping him upstairs to keep an eye out, batten down the hatches while they were there. And I think she would have left him if given the opportunity. Because once again, she knows something's up. Someone is manipulating him in a way to use her. She's onto it.
I think it might have been on Twitter or something. I don't remember. Someone said the reason why she didn't let him come down and sing with them is because nobody else can see him.
No, when they went into that boutique, she saw the lady there saw him.
That's right. He showed the phone. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did interact with some of the other witches. I was starting to, when you first said that, Doug, I'm like, oh my God, is he?
Well, because like I read that, I'm like, really? Is this like a split personality thing? Okay. But okay, thank you, Dave.
It's near
Back
and
to
mellow.
reality. There goes gravity.
Well,
But
do you guys want to rate this show?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'll start.
Okay.
For,
Okay, Doug, what's your
for
go?
Well, hold on. Should I bring up my Dave persona or Doug? Since Dave isn't real, he's not actually here. And it turns out it's my split personality.
Both their names start with a D. Both have four
Winkety?
letters.
I don't think so.
Both our birthdays are in February.
2 days apart. Whoa.
Dun dun dun.
No, but to me, this show, I mean, although interesting in points, it has been rather average, kind of blah. I mean, I'm watching. I mean, I'm not excited about the next episode, but I'm not like not looking forward to it either. It's just kind of I'm whelmed. I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not underwhelmed. I'm whelmed by this show. I did think the singing kind of went on a little bit too long in that one scene. Debbie Jo Rupp is hilarious, just like she was in that '70s show. I think, like you said earlier, all the acting is fine. I mean, I haven't had a problem with any of the scenes. It's just not. Um, it's kind of like when I look at the other projects that Jac Schaeffer has done, and they're all about that same level for me. Like you said, WandaVision, and she also did the Black Widow movie. And
Just
they're
a
all
little
just
caveat
this.
to that. Her script was almost completely redone by the end of the movie on reshoots. So her original script for Black Widow was almost nothing was left of it once the movie came out.
Yeah, but still, it's what came out, and to her credit, and it's not like I said, I didn't hate it, but I won't, I probably won't ever watch Black Widow the movie again, and but everything is everything I've seen from her is like at the same level of this show, just kind of right in the middle. So I'm gonna give this show so far, I'm gonna give it a 5. It's average for me. Doug?
So I'm kind of in a similar boat as Dave. It wasn't my favorite thing that I've seen so far, but like I mentioned, it is better than I thought it was going to be. And I don't know if that helps the fact that I kind of like lowered my expectations for what this is going to be. I assumed going in that this was Disney Marvel doing their best to, you know, milk the whole WandaVision thing for as much as they could out of it. Like everybody loved the Agatha All Along song, so we're going to do that, but every episode. And I'm thinking, is that really what they're doing? And then when we were discussing, it was during one of our rumor mill rundowns, which you can watch on YouTube. It was during one of those where we were talking about like 6 different names that they had proposed for the series. And it was like Darkhold Diaries and like Westview Witches. There was a bunch of different names that they had
Not to cut you off,
proposed.
but one of the titles that was given previously was Agnes of Westview, which was the title of the show from episode 1. So I wonder if that's
Okay.
going to play in to other things while they're on the Witch's Road.
Possibly. Yeah, that's still possible. But yeah, it turned out that as much as I wasn't looking forward to this, when I did sit down to watch it, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Um, I did like all of the acting. I thought Aubrey Plaza, for as little as she was in it, I kind of wish that we had seen more of her. I know that we will soon, but she was doing an incredible job. Kathryn Hahn did an incredible job. And I think, weirdly enough, opposite of Keith, I'm actually more interested in finding out more about the teen. Just the fact that we can't hear what his name is, we don't know what his backstory is. Other than the fact that he's on the run and apparently wants to gain witch powers, and he seems to know an awful lot about Agatha. I'm very curious about him. His mystery is about the only thing that like I'm like, okay, I can't wait for the next episode to find out more about him. As far as this whole journey down the witch's road and the coven and Agatha getting her powers. I'm a little indifferent. I don't care. Good for her. Hope it happens. Hope it all works out. I hope they have fun along the way. And maybe, just maybe, the real magic are going to be the friends they make along the way.
It always
And she
is.
just made
So I give these 2 episodes 6 out of 10.
See, a lot like Doug, I really thought this episode or this series got greenlit because of the popularity of Agatha All Along the song. Because we saw the musical number for I Can Do This All Day at the end of Hawkeye, which
God.
was not good. But this, on the other hand, I wasn't looking forward to this. I saw the trailer and I was like, okay, this is a little different than what I thought it was going to be. And I was kind of like, okay, I can't wait to see it. And I do. The acting has been great. I was a little worried about Joe Locke, but he's been good. Kathryn Hahn is just always great as Agatha. I love when her Agatha personality finally came out in episode 2. I was like, okay, that's great. You know, Dave mentioned Debra Jo Rupp was hilarious. She was phenomenal in this. She, you know, her comedic chops are amazing. And Aubrey Plaza. I hope we see her next episode, and I hope we see her a lot because she was great. You know, all the sort of deadpan lines she delivered to Agatha, like, is this how you really see yourself? And, you know, sitting there talking over the pizza and stuff was really well done. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the song too. I was like, okay, they actually went out of their way to write a good song and not just, you know, some weird chanting or something along the way. It seems like the song was almost an integral part of the plot, and I think we're going to see things that were said in the song play out over the next, you know, 7 episodes in some way. And like Doug, I am interested to see who the teen is going to be, but I am more interested to see who Aubrey Plaza is playing because I know it's not anyone named Rio Vidal. So, you know, I think we'll get more clues over the next couple weeks. You know, they've been laying little Easter eggs out like Blackheart and other things along the line, and the M when he couldn't say his name. And I know, I'm sure someone, some professional or some lip reader has broken down what he actually said in the car to her. Because like I said, he did talk about being in an accident or something along those lines. And it was weird because I forgot to mention this. He said that was his car, but it had like pearls around the rearview mirror. And I was like, you know, was this his mother's car or something along those lines? Because he did mention his mother. But once again, just little things that were there that I hope plays out in later episodes. But that all being said, as much as I enjoyed it a lot, was it a, you know, perfect opening thing? No. Was it good? Yes. And so I'm going to give it a 7. I didn't look at my phone once while I was watching it. It actually kept my interest. And I'm like, okay, this is a good start. I hope it can continue, you know, down this road, maybe even get a little better and maybe build into something that has, you know, major repercussions in the MCU when this is done. But, you know, we'll see. I enjoyed it. I was happy with it. And then
One more thing to tack on. If we get more Kathryn Hahn naked butt, I won't say no to that.
That definitely took it from like a 6.88888 up to a 7. And by the way, that was her idea.
Oh, really?
She said, you know, she thinks that her character, you know, is stripped down, lost her powers, you know, kind of lost her way and is just coming out of it. And she thought being naked when she went out to talk to her neighbor, was kind of showing how everything would be. And I was like, that's actually true. We do have a comment from Lee Irby. What is your theory, Wanda, a.k.a. the Scarlet Witch, still alive or not? We did talk about this earlier, but because you asked, we can talk about it again. I do think Wanda Maximoff is still alive in the 616. She wanted...
And I don't.
Yeah, she wanted people to think she was dead, but she's not at this point. And I think she will come back in some capacity, maybe at the end of this show.
Yeah, I don't think she's dead either. But yeah, I don't think she's come back for any. I don't think she'll be back for any TV shows. I think she'll be back for some movies, and I think multiple movies. Like, I like your theory about her coming back from a different universe or a different, you know, multiverse. And then, but you still, it'd be hard to look at her. Say this Wanda comes in from, and she's always good, and she comes into the 616. It would be still hard to look at her and say, you know, you didn't do all those things.
Well, hey, I'm not the other guy. I'm Fisherman Rick.
Yeah.
No beef with you. I'm a totally different guy from a different universe, so we can go back to being friends. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
What
I
are
don't
your
think that's going to happen.
Yeah? What are your thoughts, Lee? Do you think the Scarlet Witch is still alive? We appreciate the question. And Carrie is here. Thank you for making it, Carrie.
Oh.
We are just about done talking about Agatha All Along, but did you watch it? What are your thoughts on it? I think I liked it. Shockingly, I liked it the most out of us three. And Doug was in the middle, and Dave was. But once again, good score for Dave. An average score on something that had music in it and stuff. It was pretty good for Dave. So I think we were all pleasantly surprised that we liked it more than we thought we would coming in.
Yeah, yeah. It's not as bad as we all originally thought it was going to be. When we were first told they were making the show, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, this is going to be a 2 out of 10.
Yeah. Yeah. I was not looking forward when I heard it was announced, and then I thought, all right, it's coming out so much farther after or further after WandaVision that it's going to lose its appeal, not its appeal, but its relevance. Like, oh, they took too long to put it out. But even with all that, it was still super medium,
Extra medium.
Yeah.
extra medium.
Yeah.
It was extra medium.
Oh, and Carrie, I have not watched it. I'm waiting for your recommendation, LOL. Danny and I will watch it after Murders in the Building, I think, which I hope you're enjoying this season of Murders in the Building. My wife and I have been enjoying it quite much.
I will make this recommendation to you, Carrie. I would say that you should hold off watching Agatha All Along until it's completely aired and give it a couple of episodes, because while we were pleasantly surprised at these first two that it wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be, it also wasn't like the greatest thing we've ever seen. We're getting ready to talk about the Penguin in just a little bit, and I think that had a much stronger premiere out of the two shows that we're talking about tonight.
Spoiler
Yes.
alert, he's right. No, I think that's a good call, because if you remember, there was another show, Special Investigation, that when it first started,
Oh,
it was like, okay, I think we all rated it kind of average or a little above average, and we were all like, okay, and then just went straight downhill from that. So this could happen with this show. We don't know yet, but the first two episodes were at least average and above, according to us.
yeah.
They're watchable.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair. They're watchable.
And Carrie said Murders in the Building is a cozy show. It is.
Is that the one with Selena Gomez
It
and
is.
Steve
It is,
Martin?
yeah.
The back and
I
forth.
keep meaning to finish watching it.
The back and forth between like Steve Martin and Martin Short when they're just dissing each other is awesome. They just always put each other down and subtly.
What's funny, they're corrupting Selena Gomez, and she's been doing it now too.
She has.
Anytime they've done like a late night interview with like, Jimmy Kimmel or one of them, they'll take a dig at each other, and then she'll take a dig at both of them, and it's like, oh, you poor girl. They brought you to their level.
Well, it's great too. You can tell in the show that they all get along. And it really is an entertaining show. The mysteries are not that deep or anything, but it's fun, and it's they leave little hints here and there, and they have tons of Camille Nanjiani is in this season. Meryl Streep, Paul Rudd were in last season. There's always excellent guest stars and good stuff going on. So, but it sounds like we are done with Agatha. Should we start with the Penguin, gentlemen?
We shall.
I think so.
Fellow nerds, we are talking the Penguin premiere, episode 1, which was aptly titled After Hours.
You know what? You sound like Benedict Cumberbatch when you try, as I say, when you try and say the Penguin. Have you ever heard him try and say Penguin?
No.
Oh, in that nature documentary, and he kept getting
Yes.
worse and worse.
Yeah, he did not know how to say that word. And
Penguin?
you went the first time you said it, I heard you say penguin, like the no G.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, oh, that's Benedict Cumberbatch
Penguin.
right there.
Is that right?
There
Penguin?
you
Now,
go.
now you're saying it right. He couldn't. So he said penguin, and then he was like pungwung, and then he was like peron, and
Yeah, penguin.
yeah,
It's like,
he could. You got to look up the YouTube video, Keith,
I'll have to check it out. There has
you get a
been
minute.
words that I cannot say. One of them being
No.
the Christmas drink that people enjoy.
Eggnog.
I cannot say that, and I won't even attempt it
Oh.
on this stream.
Oh, all
I
right.
have a friend who I grew up with and lived with at college who will just laugh hysterically when I try to say it. But
Eggnog?
he can't say house. So, we all have our words. Yes. That word.
A little fun fact about, well, possibly disgusting fun fact, depending on where on the spectrum you lie, about your old fellow nerd Doug. I like eggnog, but
I love
not
it.
the alcoholic kind.
Yeah, me too.
I just
like
like regular out of the carton eggnog.
Yeah, it's really thick. It's got all that nutmeg.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, look at Keith. He doesn't like any holiday drink.
I
I
don't.
swear, he doesn't like pumpkin spice. He doesn't. He doesn't like.
I'm also. It's like
eggnog.
one of the times of the year when I'm actually cheery. I don't know, something about like the aura of the holiday season just puts me in a good mood, and then drinking that yellow sludge and clogging up my arteries just makes me feel happy.
You know, I used to be like that, but it's just been so hectic around the holidays so much lately. I just get stressed out around the holidays more than happy.
By the way, we did something tonight we've never done before.
What?
We went into
We
tangent
tangented?
time so
Immediately.
early talking about this show. I don't think we've ever tangented this early. Talking
Well,
about
and we shouldn't have.
it'll live
we
in
It's
shouldn't.
such a great show.
it'll live in
The Penguin
infamy.
is such a good show.
It is.
You're right. The Penguin
Oh,
is a great show. And Colin Farrell, my God, he is so good in this.
Yeah, definitely.
But he did say,
Deserved.
watch that video about the process of getting all of his makeup on. That is insane.
he's,
And you listen to his accent, his real life accent is nowhere near the Penguin's speech. He's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
and the writing on this, I mean, it starts out. I think this is going to be a show about him acting rashly and then having to cover it up for the rest of the episode, basically, because that's kind of what happened in this first episode, and it was so great. Alberto Falcone is kind of like, laughing at him and called him like the B word. We won't use it on the stream, obviously, for obvious reasons, YouTube. And he just blasts him, and then it's like, oh
Yeah.
my God, I gotta,
Don't laugh at Ozzy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny because he's such a unique character in the sense that later on in the episode, when he was talking to Victor, when he got called, to the Falcone home or whatever, and he's like, what I do is I act small because they want to feel big, and then I can do whatever I want. He's kind of like, he's not like overly egotistical. Like, he's okay with people thinking he's small or not a big player or not smart enough to do these things. But man, when he was being laughed at, that was like his trigger. And
Yeah.
Obviously Carmine Falcone knew better, and it seems like Sophia knows too. I think one of the most chilling lines in this entire episode when she was like, I know people underestimate you, but I don't.
Yeah.
And he knew exactly what that meant because he got that car and he drove to his mom's house and they were going to take a vacation. He knew.
Vacation.
She's on to me. And I think that scared him more than anything else. And what a wonderful way to kind of write all this in. Like her entrance when he's talking with the family. And then she just kind of walks in and is just standing over his shoulder.
Yeah.
And listening. And at first, he was mentioning, I got this new thing that's coming in. And she made no shocking move, or it didn't seem like she had any idea what he's talking about. And obviously, she's smart enough. She's like, interesting. My brother's missing, and you're bringing this up. But she waits till they're at dinner together to kind of bring it up and see, just kind of bring it up like, my brother said he was going to, your old club, and I wanted to go, but he told me not to. And, our thing was this thing, and then all of a sudden you're talking about it. What's going on? He was keeping us both in the dark. I didn't know you were involved. And you didn't know I was involved, but she saw right through that. And man, it's great.
Played that part very well. I thought she did a fantastic job. And I noticed they were calling him, I've always heard him called Falcone before, and then he was calling him Falcone with no E at the end. So that kind of, is that something for this show, or is that the proper pronunciation?
That's what we called him in the show Gotham too. It was Falcone,
and it's it's spelled the same way. They just pronounce it.
I think it's a lot like Ra's al Ghul. Sometimes depending on what show or movie it's in, it's Ra's al Ghul. Other time it's Ra's.
Yeah. The only time I heard it as Ra's was on the Green Arrow show. And no, that wasn't on that show either, was it?
It was also in The Dark Knight Returns or whatever that one was, whatever that movie was.
Yeah, The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, Dark Knight Rises. Talia corrects Bruce and says, well, technically his name is pronounced Ra's. And then I think they even say as much in in Batman Beyond. They do the same thing. What's his name? McGinnis. He goes, Ra's al Ghul, who's that guy? And Bruce looks at him and says, actually, his name is pronounced Ra's.
Well, and Sophia in this show, the actress and the comic book representation, I guess, they seem a little bit different. She seems a lot younger here.
Not as big and bulky.
Yeah, not as bulky. Yeah. But I like the change. It shows that she's a little more, she's more of a challenge. She's more like still in. I was gonna say still in her right mind, but she just got out of the market, right? And so, but still a little more formidable in this version.
Well, and remember too when she had Oswald at the end, and she's like, "So who's lying? He's lying. So I'm gonna kill him." And he's like, "Yeah." She just blasted him, and she's like, "Oh, you would rather a kid die for you?" And I'm like, "You just shot him.
Have you met him?"
Yeah. Oh, we did. Lee just said,
"I shot at him first."
And Lee just said, "Now we go from the MCU to DC universe." Yes, we will. We talk about all things nerdy here, Lee. So we'll talk anime, we'll talk Marvel, we'll talk DC, Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, anything that catches our fancy. We love it all. Even John.
As long as it's not Lara Croft.
Well, we did review the Tomb Raider movie at one point, so yes. We're open to everything.
But yeah, how he what's his name, Victor, how he bonds with him because they both have a disability. He's got his his foot, and Victor's got the stutter. And at first when he was stuttering, I thought he's just nervous. He's just because this guy just shot at him, and then he's still every minute after that he's nervous he's gonna kill him, so he stutters. But no, he's actually got a stutter, and when spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the show, go watch it. It's amazing. Come back here, we'll review it with you. But I'm going to continue with my line. And when he got to the point where they were disposing of the body, and he said, "All right, well, turn around, look at the sunrise. A polite way to tell you, all right, I'm going to kill you now." And he fought for his spot to stay with him, and that's how he got his loyalty. He trusts his loyalty because some people might say, like on other channels, they might say that's bad writing because all of a sudden he just had no life that he just walked away from. And you think about it, he didn't. If you watch the movie The Batman, and this is in the aftermath of that, and his home was destroyed. So he was just hanging out with these dudes. We don't even know how much he knows these people. And he doesn't have a home to go back to. So yeah, he's gonna hang out with Oswald Cobb and stay alive.
Have you also noticed that when it's not the Falcone family, he's incredibly honest? Like he pretty much always lies to the Falcone family when he goes in because, they called him in to see him. And they're like, we want you to shut down the drops operation. He's like, but we were told that it was up to 70%, that we were able to recover 70%. And that's not what he just heard. He literally just heard they were only able to get 30%. He lies to Sophia. He lies to like all of them. But he's like bluntly honest with Victor. Like, when Victor's like begging him, please don't kill me. He's like, the smart thing would be to kill you. I'm just letting you know. I mean, you got to think about it from my situation. You know too much.
Yeah.
And
then he even offers him a cigar.
In the end, it paid off that he kept him. He didn't kill him because he was able to. And I loved. He's watching that movie and it's like blame me or whatever. And he's like, I got an idea. And as soon as he went into prison to talk to the Maroni guy, Salvatore Maroni. And I'm like,
Clancy Brown.
Yes. And we do stand Clancy Brown. So it's always great seeing him. But I'm like, he's giving him the ring. Oh, he is. And
you could kind of start to see the pieces form. And it's like, okay, I see what you're doing. And I love how he waited till he's walking out. Oh, by the way, I think this belongs to you. And I'm like, you smart little so-and-so. All right.
And it was really good, too, because it's like almost working both sides because obviously we didn't know at the time, but he had the plan to have Victor, drive that car. Good thing the car was running and, smash it into the Falcone family. But he was also really hedging his bets. If anything happens, I can get in good with the Maroni family here too. So if they take power of the city, it's going to help me too.
I think what he's doing is he's setting them against each other. He's making them think that each other is doing whatever he's doing, and that's how
he'll pick up the pieces when the dust settles.
Yeah, and he'll be at the top.
Yep.
That's the goal.
That's what I figured he was doing. I don't think he ever had any intention on working for the Maronis. I think that's just he's exactly what Dave said. I think he's trying to get them to work against each other.
No, he is. But I'm saying whoever ends up on top out of the two, he's still in good with them, so he can take his power. He made.
They aren't going to end up on top. He's going.
I think he's going to end up on top.
I know he is. If you guys would listen to what I'm actually saying, but
what?
He is using both sides to get his own power. But I'm saying if the Maronis start to take power away from the Falcones, he's still there to take the power from them. He's playing both sides against each other, but he's also trying to make both sides look like he's on their side, so neither one turns against him.
So yeah, it's better to battle one enemy than two.
Oh, definitely. And to Keith's point, he could also at any given point, if one of them starts to suspect, hey, you're playing both sides. Oh no, I'm on your side. I've been your good soldier.
Yeah, look.
I gave you that ring back.
Yeah.
I offered you the drop drugs. The drops drug trade. And I'm looking out for you. I want you guys to be in power. And then the Falcone, Sophia, we have such a history. You know me so well. You know me more than anyone else. Which, man, she is. Everyone else, it seems like they just, brush him off. He's this, sort of crippled guy or whatever. And, fine, you're doing a good job, but you're nothing.
He wants that, though.
I know he does. And it scares him so much that she knows it isn't true. Oh, man, I can't wait to see their whole relationship play out over this season.
I also like that when he's riding on the subway, he refuses to sit in the handicap seat. Like, they show it. He looks at it, and he's like, no, I'm going to stand.
Yep. He doesn't consider himself handicapped. And, man, what we didn't need to see was his foot.
Oh, God.
Didn't need that.
That was a mangled mess, man.
Right, yeah.
We got don't know ? Say I love it. Are you talking about our stream, the Penguin, series. You guys are in my head, man.
But the other moment, so I had mentioned that, Oz, he's when it's not when it's not any of the crime bosses or the crime families that he's talking to, he's pretty blatantly honest. Like, I thought for sure he was gonna lie to his mom. But no, he just came right out and told her, "Yeah, well, something happened. What happened? I killed Alberto Falcone." You
Yeah.
did what? Yeah, well, he laughed at me. And he's like,
See,
and he was completely honest with her. And then I went back and I did the same thing that Keith did. I ended up rewatching the Batman, and I realized he's honest to Batman too.
that's what I was gonna say. Yes, when Batman comes to see him, he's like, "Hey,
Yeah.
here's what's going on.
Yes.
I will tell you straight up."
It's like he knows when he should play it close to the chest. He knows when he should stretch the truth, but he also knows, hey, you know what? In some cases, it just pays to be honest.
Even when
Yeah, and
he's
that's why
talking,
Batman will leave him out there because he can get information from him.
Yep, yep.
when he's talking to Victor at the fire, and
Hmm.
he's like, "Look at all these rims here. You would have just came here. Think about it. Think about your
Right.
plans a little better. Don't try to steal. Basically, there's a purple car sitting here, and you're gonna steal from it. Think about it. Think about that. You're not gonna get away with that." I'm sorry.
The
Plum
actor
car.
who played Victor, I'm
Plum,
glad that
yes.
you pointed out in our chat. I'm glad you pointed out that he was in the Runaways. I forgot about that. I didn't recognize him at first. But such a good actor. And I love like all the instances where like along their drive, he's trying to convince Penguin not to kill him. And he's like, hey, you like those slushies? Yeah, they're good, right? Yeah, and I'd really like to keep enjoying them in the future. Like, thank you. That's beautiful.
Well, even at the end, when they get the suicide mix of all of them,
Yeah.
see, it's better this way. He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, is he really being honest with Penguin at this point, or is he just saying?
He's gonna agree with him.
Or is he saying
Oh my
it's better
God.
to commit suicide than have me kill you? Is that what he's saying, really?
Right? Yeah, yeah. Or like when they go to Oz's mom's house. Now, make sure you use your manners. Be respectful. I know. You'll gut me like a fish. Yeah, I will. And your family. Yeah, okay, man. It just,
all right.
what that it reminded me of?
Huh.
The scene from The Princess Bride. When Wesley is talking about the Dread Pirate, and he says, and every morning he woke up and he told me, okay, today will be the day I'll kill you.
It was very similar to that.
Yeah.
But I have a question.
No,
With
no questions
Albert-
tonight.
Oh, sorry. All right, go ahead. With Alberto Falcone being dead, does that cancel out any chance of like the holiday movie, the Holiday Killer? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
The last
I was
Halloween,
wondering about that. I don't know.
the Dark Victory. The long Halloween.
Yeah,
That-
yeah.
The,
I
the,
mean,
the villain in that story was Alberto
Yeah.
Falcone.
yeah, they would have to change it,
Hmm.
but I don't know if they're planning on, doing the long Halloween adaptation for the Matt Reeves Batman crime universe, whatever we're gonna call it.
I mean, it almost seemed like they were pulling so many elements from it for the Batman movie anyway, that they might not end up telling that story because, it opened with the murder happening on Halloween, and then they did the whole storyline about, Falcone getting saved by Thomas Wayne. I think that was from the Long Halloween, wasn't it?
Getting saved by Thomas Wayne.
Yeah.
No, I think no, I think it, I think that was in Hush.
Was it in Hush?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was Hush.
I'm so terrible about those two movies. I confuse them all the time. They have so many similar, elements to them.
Yeah, they're both
But
really
yeah, I
excellent.
knew it was in. Hmm?
I said they're both really excellent, and
They are.
have
They're
multiple
two of my
villains.
favorite storylines for Batman, and they're also two of my favorite animated Batman movies. They redid them so well in animated form.
Yes, they did. We do have a question from Lee. In the MCU, This is the first we hear about the Witch's Road. It does appear even in the comics as well. Yes, the Scarlet Witch comic. She went down the Witch's Road. That was a recent comic too. So yeah, it's definitely they are definitely pulling from the comics for Agatha All Along.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Salem 7 are also in the comics as well. They're a little bit different in the MCU than they are in the comics, but yeah. The MCU is pretty good about that, where they'll pull different things from the comics, and they might need to rework them, tweak them a bit to make them work in whatever movie or show they're putting them in. But for the most part, almost everything we see in these movies and shows has some basis in the comics, except for Secret Invasion. That's like, I don't know what the hell that was.
What are you talking about?
That show that you guys made me watch.
Oh, Special Investigation. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, now I know what you're talking about.
I know it's very hard. It's very easy to confuse the two, but look, back to the Penguin.
Now, do you think Victor Aguilar? Do you think he could be a character from Batman?
No, I don't. I know there's been some rumors. I saw something on Twitter yesterday. Someone had, it was Hello to Shine. What that person that you always get rumors from?
Hello,
my turn to shine.
Yeah, whatever it's called. They had asked something very similar. They had asked, is this person going to turn out to be Mr. Freeze or somebody else? And I'm looking at him like, no, that's dumb. I think this is just an original character.
if it's going to be anybody, I think it would be Victor Zsasz. I think Victor Zsasz is much more grounded type of
Yeah.
The
Batman villain.
the Hitman guy,
Yeah, the Hitman
or
guy.
oh, all
It would
right.
But
definitely be a
I am
well-rounded
I am with you, Doug. I don't think he's anyone that's been established in the comics. I think he is just basically along to
I think he's meant to be like Penguin's anti-Robin.
yes, and he's
That's
there.
what I saw.
He's there for
I
someone.
kept thinking that. Well, I kept thinking that in the entire episode. Who is this going to be? You're right. It was in the back of my mind the entire time.
I just see him as someone for Penguin to talk to, and kind
Yeah.
of lead us, down some exposition at times. Hopefully not too much, and we kind of
Make him more of a character that we want to follow. If he's just like, a crime guy going out and doing crimes and criming all over Gotham, it's like after a while, if he's just on his own, it's not going to be that interesting. We're going to be like, somebody needs to catch that guy.
Oh, and he proved his worth at the end of the episode with the whole car thing. So
Yes.
I did love too that he's like, I thought the plan was you leave the finger in the head. I
Right.
was starting to cut. And, I didn't know whether to start. It's fine. It's fine, kid. It's fine. You did good. You did good.
you're learning. You're learning. It's just the first time out.
You'll learn. Like he's going to make him do this again.
Oh, you know he's going to.
Oh,
Because
God.
it's only going to get more brutal from here.
Oh, yeah, brutal. That's an understatement. I forgot when I went back to rewatch The Batman, I forgot that was only a PG-13 movie. This was a hard R show.
Yeah. Well, and with the ring, all right. Now he got the ring and he gave it back to Sal in jail.
Yep.
And is Sophia going to see Sal in jail and see that he's got his ring back and say, "Oh, you killed my brother"?
Well, the plan is that someone will see it in jail because Falcone family probably have people in there. And all of a sudden, Salvatore is going to have that ring on again. They're going to be like,
They're going to report back.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is she smart enough to kind of see through this whole thing? Like,
I think so.
all of a sudden, and they have logs at prison. They could see that Penguin visited him.
I'm come Raj show tonight.
Not sure I said the G the last time. But, they could have seen that he visited them and he all of a sudden had the ring. So she might be able to piece it together. I think the rest of the crime family would be like, hey, they're after us. Let's get them, But I think she is smart enough to see these subtle moves.
Was Oswald smart enough to bribe a guard and make sure that they put down a fake name?
Oh, that's a good point.
Well, I mean, he does have connections. He went to that lady friend of his and got his alibi. So, who's to say he doesn't have connections in prison?
Yeah, he's smart
That was,
enough to.
by the way, speaking of his lady friend, that was another thing that was going around Twitter. Folks were asking who she is in the comics.
I don't think she's anybody.
I don't think she is either, but somebody suggested that she's possibly a gender bent Clayface. The same name, I guess.
Okay.
What was her name? I forgot. What was her name?
I have forgotten already too. I'd have to look
I
it
will
up.
look it up. You guys converse amongst yourselves.
Okay.
Seeing if it was in my notes, but I didn't see it. Yeah, you know what? Clayface doesn't seem like the type of villain that would show up in this universe.
I don't think
His
so either.
supernatural sort of abilities doesn't really fit in with this, with how they're telling the story.
I think they're planning on keeping this really grounded.
Yeah, we'll see Joker. We'll see Penguin. Riddler obviously was already there. So, yeah, it'll be the more... We won't see any supernatural power. Darkseid isn't going to show up and start shooting his Omni beams all over the place.
Eve Carlo.
What's his
That's her
name?
name.
Boris Karloff? Clayface?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, then there you go. That's why they think that. Will it happen? We don't know.
I doubt it, but maybe it could also just be a wink wink nod nod.
Yeah, it seems
Kind of
much
thing,
more
too.
like a wink, wink, nod, nod. Like, hey, you guys know the Carlo family? You know what that is? She'll mention in a later
you get
episode.
it? Yeah, we did a
Oh,
little
my
thing.
brother! My brother is an actor who
Yeah,
really likes to. Speaking of makeup, did you guys see that Colin Farrell was like, "I never want to put all of that gear on again." He goes, "I'm glad it's
Oh,
done."
really?
Now,
Oh.
is that
So
just
is he not
him,
going to play the Penguin anymore?
or is it him itching for a little bit more money the next time he plays it?
That could be too.
My first thought was like, "Oh my God, they're going to kill him off in this at the end,"
That's what you got me thinking.
which is
You
scary.
can't.
Because, no,
And the Penguin's such a great character. You can't, and he's never so big that he would have to be eliminated. He could always operate in the background as a bad guy.
and
In my opinion.
when this show was first announced, it was my thought that they were using this to build him up to become, the kingpin of Gotham City,
Of the DC.
and then
Mhm.
and then Batman would kind of take him on a little bit, or he would just be there again as kind of a background villain who maybe Batman wants to stop. But I can't imagine they would kill him, but I guess it's possible. But I hope not, because Colin Farrell is amazing in this role. He was great in the Batman, and he's been even better in this.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well, we got a question from Lee. DC, who is the worst villain, the Joker or the Penguin? Joker.
worse in which way?
Oh, good
Worse as
question.
in like they'll do more damage?
I took it as worse, like more evil.
I definitely, if you're
Joker.
doing it between the Joker and the Penguin, then the Joker.
Yeah.
There are too many stories where the Joker has taken things like way further than necessary. The Penguin is your pretty run-of-the-mill mobster villain. Like, he pretty much just wants power and money. The Joker doesn't want anything. I think the best version of him that we've seen, or the most faithful version of him that we've seen, was in The Dark Knight. When he piles up all that cash and then lights it on fire, that's the Joker.
Are you saying that some people just want to see the world burn?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely.
I mean, anytime they show the Joker having any sort of I want to do this crime so I can get money. Every time they did it in the Batman animated series, it always felt off because that didn't feel like the Joker. But when they would go back to his roots of I'm creating toxic laughing gas because I want to put a smile on everyone's face, or I just want the whole world to laugh at my jokes, that's the Joker. Some sort of psychotic plan that doesn't really it's not the normal benefit. It's someone who's just an act of chaos. So him, he is the, if we want to call worse as in has done the most damage, is the most evil Joker by far, especially if we take into account the version in oh my God, what's the one where he kills Lois Lane?
Injustice.
Injustice. Thank you. I couldn't think of the name. Yeah, if we think of Injustice Joker, oh, okay.
And the Penguin has his own sort of code, like any mobster, like you guys said.
Yeah.
He doesn't go around just killing. He only killed if it benefits him, to be honest.
Yes.
He killed Alberto out of anger a little bit, but he isn't going to go start just shooting people on the street. Joker will poison and kill anybody to try to make a point of, like you said, he's just an agent of chaos, and that's all he cares about.
We did, I think, a good comparison to him is the Kingpin from Marvel. I think they're both very similar in the fact that they want money, they want power, but they're not willing to destroy the world over it. We did an in focus on the Kingpin where one of the stories that we talked about was he actually assisted Spider-Man when the Spot lost control of his powers and all these black holes were opening and getting ready to, suck up all of the New York or the world. And one of his henchmen looks at him and says, "Are you serious? Are you going to help Spider-Man?" And he says, "I can't be in charge of the world if there's no world to be in charge of."
It was like the line
And I
from
think
Guardians
Penguin
of
is
the
very
Galaxy.
similar.
Why you want to save the universe? Because I'm one of the idiots that lives in it.
Yeah.
Same thing, yeah. I think the Penguin is the same way.
Yeah.
I think if it came to, if the Joker was, going to poison all of Gotham and Batman, had a plan and he needed help, I think the Penguin would be like, "Dude, I'll help you out because, I can't make any money off of Gotham if everyone's dead."
Yeah. Very self-preservation.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Well, should anything else to talk about this episode before we maybe give our ratings?
It looked like it may have been filmed in Chicago. Is that right?
I don't know, but it did look like Chicago.
I don't know.
And I also wanted to say the first bit of the music, not the orchestral music that came in, it took me right back into the Batman movie.
Yeah.
It had me like, oh, I'm in this world now. It was awesome. I submerged at that point. So excellent job on the score.
Very good, yeah.
That theme still lives rent-free in my head. I've said it 100 times.
It's good.
I love it so much. It, is so perfectly, in the way they played it in the Batman movie. When I watch it again, I'm still just mesmerized by how it fits the action going on the screen perfectly. It's so well done. That movie I love that movie so much. I may have to watch it again this week.
I'm not sure who did the score, but bravo.
I think it's Michael, the dude who did Werewolf by Night, the director of Werewolf by Night.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure he did the score for that movie, and it's.
I read that his son did the score for the Penguin.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that would make sense. Be able to borrow stuff without even having to ask.
Yeah, Hey, Dad, it's all right? Yeah, I guess. Can't do anything on your own.
Go ahead. Yeah, copy my work, why don't you?
Yeah, just make sure it sounds different. Okay.
See, now, Under Pressure it was doon 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 da da doon doon. My song is doon 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 da da doon doon. See, it's different.
Don't you get it? It's different.
Okay, Vanilla Ice.
Okay, Junior.
Yeah. Go away now, Junior.
Well, Dave, would you like to kick off our rating segment for the Penguin?
I would love to. And when I first heard this show was being announced, I was like, I don't know. I mean, it was a really cool character in the movie, but I don't know if you can have a whole TV show. And I just looked up, there's 8 episodes. And the more I saw the previews, the more I got hyped. And I tell you what, it lived up to the hype. Some people might say that I have seen other channels say that the story dragged a little bit. And normally a slow moving story is not my thing. But when you do, I think this was a great, well paced show, and it covered what it needed to cover. Any any of the slowness that other channels are talking about, I didn't notice because they were just developing the characters. And you need that time to plot develop and develop the characters and bring the characters in the right way. How Sophia walked in over his shoulder like that, and I noticed her immediately. And I think they talked for another good 30 seconds before they even acknowledged her. Genius, good stuff. It made her entrance that more ominous, you know. And like I said, I like the score. It brought me into the Batman movie. It took me back. Everything was good about this. I'm not going to give it 100% because I want to see where they're going with it. But I liked everything in it. The acting was excellent. The plot was excellent. So I'm giving this a 9 out of 10.
Hmm.
What
Well,
do you think,
we
Evan?
got a comment here. Mick Giancino, the son of Batman composer Michael Giancino, created the soundtrack for the spin-off show, The Penguin. His previous credits include The Muppets Mayhem and Zootopia. Nice. Thank you, Doug McLean, for that comment. I appreciate that.
John McClane.
So my rating and review for this this introductory episode to The Penguin. This is another one where I'll be honest, when I first heard about this, I kind of rolled my eyes. So, um, I enjoyed the Batman for the most part. It definitely, for me, when we originally saw it in theaters, I felt that it was a bit too long. Um, and I there was a couple of times where I thought, okay, this is where it ends. Oh, it's still going. I also thought there was a lot of scenes where it was like way too dark, and I'm sitting like, what the fuck, what's happening here? But yeah, I for the most part I enjoyed it. It was a decent Batman movie, and then when they announced that they were doing a spin-off, The Penguin, I'm like, that what are you going to even do with that? And I think when we originally were talking about it, and again, I could be totally mistaken, I thought we had heard that it was supposed to be a prequel. And I'm like, what is this supposed to be? Like, I'm not interested in this at all. And so we're talking about, we brought it up multiple times throughout a couple of our live streams. Okay, we've got more information. They're going to be doing a Gotham PD show. All right, cool. They're going to do a Penguin spinoff. Neat, I guess, whatever. And so, like, as it kept getting closer and closer, like, I really wasn't looking forward to Agatha. I really wasn't looking forward to the Penguin. I just figured they were going to be filler things that we were going to review to give us something to watch until we got to, something better, like our next movie. But boy, I am so glad that I was wrong with this one because I was very pleasantly surprised at how good this intro episode was. I could not stop singing its praises, and I ended up watching it again. It made me want to rewatch The Batman. What Dave said is correct. The score was phenomenal. Although the scenes were great, there was a lot of good humor in it. Very hard rating of R on it. There is a lot of violence, a lot of cussing, a little bit of nudity. It was, but it was such a good show. Everything was great, and you know, um, I'm actually glad that we didn't see Batman in it. It was nice to know that this is still set in the same world. Like you get some mentions of it. This takes place like literally directly after the Batman. They're still recovering from the exploding seawall from the Riddler. He planted all these bombs, blew up the seawall, flooded Gotham, and we're actually, seeing the aftermath of that. They're mentioning that the slums were hit the hardest. The rich neighborhoods are actually doing much better. They didn't get hit with the flooding. We, got word that the Batman is saving people, from the floodwaters and everything. And so it was nice to see that it lives in the same world, but we weren't crowded by the Batman being there. This was truly a story of the Penguin, and it was fun following him. Um, I'm gonna give this one, this might sound weird. I'm not gonna rate it as high as Dave. I'm gonna give it an 8.5. It was good, and I did enjoy it a lot, but I want to leave room for because I think it might still get better. And this is the first episode of the first season. I hope it's not the only season. I kind of want to see more. So yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8.5. It was good. I really enjoyed it, and I am really looking forward to the next episode. And I know they're going to start coming out on Sundays. I don't know when the next one is.
Next Sunday.
29.
Next Sunday? Okay. Wow. That sucks. So, ooh, boy, we'll have to talk about what we're going to be doing for our streams then. But all right, yeah. 8.5. I liked it. Watch it.
Definitely watch it. And just so you know, this is being called a limited series, Doug. So I don't know if we'll ever get a season 2, but man, hopefully they change their mind. A limited series of 2 seasons or 5 seasons. But, you know, everything you guys said, you know, the acting was superb, the score was phenomenal. I think the plot and, you know, the character development we got with everything going on, you know, learning more about this world's Oswald Cobblepot was great. I really enjoyed everything about it. You know, one of the things that, unlike these two guys, when this was announced, I was pretty excited because I loved the Batman movie. And I, you know, when I heard that basically this was brought about because this was part of the Batman script. But they were like,
oh,
this would be a 6-hour movie. We can't do it. And so they basically broke it out and they basically said, okay, you know, we'll add more to it. And so this came out of basically something that was taken out of the Batman script for the Penguin in that movie and added on to do this. And so, you know, I was pretty fired up from the get-go, and I am so happy I was not disappointed because everyone was great. I mean, Colin Farrell was tremendous. The kid playing Victor was really good. You know, he was good in The Runaways, but I really think he outdid himself here. Sophia Falcone was great. Seeing Clancy Brown as, you know, Salvador. Everyone was good in this. It was really one of those things where, you know, Dave kind of mentioned as soon as he heard the music, he was brought back into the world. I was completely immersed from the second this, you know, you hear the dun, 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 and I'm just like, whoo, no phone pickups, and it was all just mesmerized by the show. And, you know, it was like an hour and 5 minutes or something along the lines, but it really seemed like it was a 40-minute show because it went by so fast. They did a good job. You know, the pacing wasn't hectic. It was perfect for what was going on. You know, they really showed how crazy that night was with having to get rid of the body and everything that happened. You know, it's like, oh, he walks out, kids are stealing his rims, and he ends up picking up one of the kid and helping them. And, you know, then everything that transpires after that with Sophia Falcone, he's going to go get his mom and leave. It was just so well done, you know. Turns, you know, twists, everything we expect out of these shows, and they just executed it extremely well. So I'm going to give it a 9 because this was one of the better pilots we've seen on any shows in a very long time. They really got this down. And if it gets better from here, I still have that room to go up. But, I mean, I really thought they did a tremendous job on this. They knew what they were doing, and they executed it tremendously. But what are your guys' thoughts out in the chat? Let us know what you guys thought if you've seen this first episode. And like Doug said, if you haven't, go watch it. You can thank us next week on our stream.
I hope they indoor the heck out of this show.
I agree, sir.
Anything that introduces, you know, real good world building with a captivating character that you just love to watch, yeah. I want to see more of that.
And Colin Farrell, I know you're a fan of the stream. Please come back as the Penguin if they offer it to you. You know, whether it's the Batman Part 2 or whatever it's going to be. We'll all chip in a little extra for all the, you know, time you have to sit and get all that makeup done. Because, man, he doesn't look anything like himself.
No.
I
was
like, did he put on a bunch of weight? No, it's just a fat suit. That's
a ton of makeup. Like, and I assume, I'm going to go out on a limb, I assume he's not that hairy in real life.
No.
I'm guessing that was all part of the process, too.
I was trying to look into his, look into his eyes and see if I could see Colin Farrell in there, and I still couldn't. That makeup job was amazing.
And the acting the acting had a lot to do with that too. He was just tremendous.
Yeah. How he does his accent. And when you hear his real accent compared to what he's saying on the show. It's just, yeah, he had definitely, to quote Deadpool, he had a really good dialect coach.
Yes.
And I honestly, if I didn't know that was Colin Farrell, I don't think I would have ever guessed it was Colin Farrell.
Right.
And I think most
Yeah,
people
me
not
either.
knowing, if they don't know who's playing him, he would definitely not be their first. Maybe they'd probably think Colin Firth first.
Or Will Ferrell.
Your favorite, I know you're.
Yeah, I love him. I love that new commercial he's into. It's so amazing.
I knew you would, sir.
I want to pay with this everywhere. Oh, does that mean we're going to get some money? Ah, am I advertising on our channel?
You are. PayPal, you can send it directly to Not Your Status Quo. Thank you so much. But it is probably time. It's almost 10 o'clock, gentlemen. It's probably time for us to find someone to.
Raid!
It's a raid! Oops.
You got graduating.
Which, of course, is something that we do on Twitch. So for those of you in YouTube land, we want to thank you very much for joining us. You are great, especially those of you who are interacting with us, hanging out in the chat. We love that. We want to see more. Make sure that you stay tuned and, jump on. And you know what? If you want to know when we're going to be streaming next, make sure you follow us on social media, too. That's probably the best way to find out, our schedules of when we're going to be streaming next. A lot of times it's difficult for us to plan these. They've got to be planned around all these different shows and movies. So if you want to know when our next video is going to be coming out, our next live stream, definitely pay attention to our social media. We've got all the links, on our YouTube page. So definitely check those out.
What Doug said.
100%.
But yeah, so as Keith said, we're going to look for somebody to raid. Again, that is a Twitch thing where we take everybody who has been hanging out with us on Twitch and we're going to move them over to another channel that we like, and we're going to kind of just keep the party going. For those of you that are watching us on YouTube, I'm sorry, it's the end of the show for you. You won't be able to raid. YouTube doesn't do anything like that I'm aware of. They do. I just don't know about it.
But there are things you can on YouTube. Please like this video. You've commented.
Oh, yeah.
We appreciate that. Subscribe to us if you haven't.
Yes,
It
please subscribe if you haven't.
helps
It
the
helps
channel
us
out
out.
immensely, yes.
Mhm.
So
And watch some of our other videos to just get a feel of who we are.
Yeah.
watch our shorts. We have got great shorts out there. We got tons of stuff.
Well,
We're good
okay, hold on.
guys.
But,
No,
Our
not
shorts
those
really
shorts. No,
don't.
no. But should we raid graduating again?
I'm good with that.
Our list of
They're gone.
people
Oh,
is kind of
okay.
short today. I don't know if.
Yeah, it's a Sunday night thing.
Eh.
Well, I know TG is down in DC for TwitchCon. Oh, that's why. It's TwitchCon.
Mm.
Oh,
Is this like his third time going?
Yeah, he goes every time.
Wow. Good for him.
Yeah, good times. But all right, we're going to raid. Once again, thanks everybody for coming out. We'll probably be back maybe Friday this week for the Agatha and maybe next Monday for the Penguin episode 2. But we'll keep everyone notified, like Doug said. Follow the socials. That'll let you know exactly where, when and where we're going to be on. But once again, thanks everybody. We do appreciate it.
Hey fellow nerds, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of this stuff, make sure that you check out our Twitch stream. We try to do these live Sunday or Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Keep an eye on our social media to find out when you can join in live and chat with us during these live streams. Also, as usual, don't forget to check out our other social media. Add us at Twitter, comment down below, and we'll see you next time right here on Not Your Status Quo.